Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for tuning in to episode 2. My name is Kinshasa Bryant. I'm with the Black Legacy Wealth Project. Today, we are celebrating Black excellence, and this is again episode 2 of I See Myself. Our guest is going to be Bay Area musician Rob Bess. Tell me a little bit about your journey into music, Rob. How do you discover your passion for singing, and what motivated you to pursue your career as an R&B artist? Tell me a little bit about that.
Um, I started in church. So my buddy of mine's sister was a choir director, and to spend time, I started in church. He asked me to sing a song, and I sung, and I wasn't really hooked yet. But when we did it was a concert that we was doing on that Sunday, and when I sung the song, um, it just it overwhelmed me, and the reaction that I got from people, it was incredible. So that's how I started,
Fantastic. Hmm.
and then from there, I stopped playing. I got hurt in basketball, so a buddy of mine, I wanted to get back in. I wanted to really get into the production side of music, so
Right.
I went and got me a Mac and some computers and got my studio together. And I started off in this group called Hoopla from San.
Okay.
Yeah, so I started in this group called Hoopla. It was a rap group. I did all the music and all the singing hooks and all the production, and we ended up getting signed to Warlock Records, which is a subsidiary of Warner Brothers.
That's beautiful. Uh-huh.
So we ran that for a while. We had a pretty good hit single by the name of "Can You Feel Me?" And ironically, when we got signed, this was the time when Chewy Gomez had transferred over from um, Wild 107 to KMEL. So
I think I remember Can You Feel Me? I remember that song. That was a
yeah,
popular
they,
song.
yeah, they played it a lot. Chewy Gomez's KMEL broke that song for us because
I remember that song. That was played a lot. It was in heavy rotation. It definitely
yeah,
was.
yes, it was. Yeah,
Yeah,
we got a
definitely.
lot of love from that. Well, we were
And mhm.
when Chewy transferred over, we was renting a house out in South City when we was doing the album. So Chewy lived around the corner, so he would come by and listen to the music. And then when he made the transfer to KML, had us come down. He did an interview with us, and then they played the song, and people started calling in and requesting, and then it was in rotation for a while. So that was Chewy Gomez and My Emotion is the ones that really put that in effect for me.
Okay.
And Double Barrel Duro he was over at Wild 107 at the time. So
Yeah, I remember when it was playing and all, and when My Emotion was playing, that was just a popular song. A
yeah,
very, very popular song. It was in heavy rotation. So I definitely remember it. And
yeah.
also, I want to give you a big ups. Congratulations on your new single, You
Thank,
Know.
thank
Can
you.
you share us the inspiration behind the song and what message you hope to convey to your audience?
Well, it's a nice story to that. So
Mhm.
I did a concert with this guy named Jay Chosen. Jay Chosen was on a television show. I forgot the name of it, but it's one of them big shows. He did really well. So we did a show together, me, him, and a cat named I Stevie. And when he got off the stage, I really liked what he did. So I was working on my next single, and I wanted to bring my how can I put this? I wanted to bring my whole skill set up to a whole nother type deal. So I liked how he wrote, so I wrote him a song for his upcoming album. I did a track for him, and he actually wrote that tune for me. And what inspired it is I told him I wanted something that's with love involved in it, and I'll do the music, I'll do the production, the mixing, the mastering, and everything. But I just need some really cool words, and I have to give him the props on that. He sent it back, and one thing that really inspired me,
Yeah.
in this business, when you send music out and Sometimes it takes the artist maybe 2, 3 weeks or a week to get to send the vocals back.
Right.
I fell in love with him, man, because I sent him the music on Tuesday, and he sent the vocals back on Wednesday.
Oh, he's about his business. Oh
He was
yeah, that's dope.
I learned the song, got the feel for the song, make sure
Right.
make sure the melodies and everything was right, and then I went, I got my own studio, so I went ahead and recorded it and mixed and mastered it and dropped today. And I have my own deal with Symphonic, and Symphonic is with Universal, so I have a Timeline has a distributing deal. So as soon as I'm done with my music, I can just shoot it right out.
Okay, perfect, perfect. And what would for any other artists that are out there, up and coming artists, young folks, they're always looking up to uh, the singers of today and all the music that everybody is doing. They get inspired. What words of wisdom, do you have for young folks who are looking to get in the music industry? What words of wisdom do you have? Anything that would inspire them?
Yes, yes. My thing is, I've been doing this for a while, and I've had, I went from independent to a record deal to back to I'm like what you call a major independent now. So I have my own label, but I have a major distributor. So I would try. I mean, the talent part is only 10%. So I would try my best to figure the business out first, because if you don't know the business side of it, 9 times out of 10, somebody's going to make the money and you're not. Now, that's going to happen. It might happen to you when you first come out, but it shouldn't happen to you twice. So be careful with that. I would, like me personally, I piggybacked off a lot of people and asked a lot of questions that were
That's
out on,
how you learn. Absolutely. Absolutely.
that actually sold records and did it. So I kind of got underneath them and picked their brain and figured out where my role is and how can I make the money. And then I'll start shooting and getting in the studio and start recording, and got all my team together to make sure we can push the record, make sure the funds are there to push
Yeah, most definitely. So I hear you're a triple threat. You also act
it.
and
Yeah, Farad got me in a movie. I was in a movie about this boxer, came out last month.
okay. Okay. I'm very familiar with is it Faraduz or
Yes,
that's someone?
yes,
Okay.
yes, yes,
Yes, very familiar with his work. He's
yes.
definitely doing the dang thing.
Yeah, he hired me to get into the movie. I played a nice role in there, and then when he had the premiere, me and my band opened for the premiere and played. I did like a 30-minute set, so it was a really good night at the Opera House.
Oh
Farad
wow.
was a good dude.
Okay. So you have a full band?
Oh yeah,
Live
oh yeah.
instrumentation? Oh yeah, that's beautiful. That's what's up.
If you book me, if I get booked, I can either come, with a track and do it that way, or if the budget is right, me and my guys will come and act the fool. Vern
Okay.
Hall, Thomas, and Mike D. You know,
Mhm.
Lilo on backups, Kwanzaa Morton.
Right.
You
Very, very
know, so good.
familiar with Vernon Hall. He's done a lot of stuff with Tony
Yeah,
Tone. A
them,
lot of people.
them is my people. All them is my really really good friends of mine.
Nice.
Dwayne is, one of the cats that, you know, he used to have a studio in West Oakland. So I used to have a
Yeah.
motorcycle, called me Motorcycle Rob. So I would go
Okay.
to, I used to go over to the studio a lot, and I
Mhm.
learned a lot from him. And I learned a lot from this cat named Jay King, who was with Club Nouveau.
Very familiar with Jay King. Yep.
Larry
It's a
White taught
small
me.
world. This Bay Area is just small.
It is.
Everybody know those names. Those names are historic.
Larry White taught me a lot. Larry White was a program director for Bobby Brown for years, and
Okay.
taught me a lot of a phenomenal bass player and guitar player. A lot of times when I start going out in the next couple of months, if Vern's not playing with the Tonys, Larry will probably push in. And how it works is
Mhm.
I don't just have one set. I have, I'm really cool with a lot of musicians. So whenever somebody's not can't make it, I can just fill it in with somebody else. Or if we're in another city, I might just bring Vern or a bass player and then use a drummer and a keyboard player that's already in that city. So it just
Right.
depends. It just depends on what the situation is.
Okay. And now, Rob.
Yes.
As an African American male in the R&B industry, the music industry, what
Mhm.
challenges have you faced with your career?
Um, a lot.
Yeah.
I won't say a lot. Well, one challenge I had during the run that me and Dame had with Hoopla, my mom
Mhm.
passed. So
Mm.
I was kind of young when that happened. So that kind of hit me kind of hard. So
Yeah.
I didn't stop doing music, but I slowed down for a while.
Right.
And that's when I made the transition into R&B. Um,
Okay.
Even though I started singing and I do beat, did the music and production,
Yeah.
uh, I transitioned back into R&B. So the
Okay.
toughest thing for me to do at that time was figuring out, what kind of lane I want to be in and where do I want to go with this. And at first, it was hard to find music because
Mhm.
first start out, a lot of people don't want to really deal with somebody that's new. So I said, well, you know
Right.
what, it's just reality. So I just went ahead and got my own equipment,
Right.
taught, taught myself how to play, taught myself how to mix and well, a cat named Hillary who did a lot of mixing and mastering for Bobby Brown actually taught me how to mix and master, and he told
So
me,
you right, so you pretty much created your own lane.
yes, pretty much, yes,
Mhm.
because it's asking people to help, and people saying no, not really saying no, but
Right.
just don't really have time. I didn't really have time for it, so I figured I knew enough people that knew what they were doing, so
Yeah.
I went and got with them and taught myself how to do certain things and just put the monkey on my back and just been riding ever since.
Perfect. And how have some of those experiences shaped your musical style and approach?
Growth. When I first I got a deal with Sony Red with this song called "Stay" because I had a residency down in Q's Lounge. At first, they had just opened up, and,
Okay.
and they had asked me to come down and bring a band down there. So when I got down there, I noticed in the first maybe couple of months my vocals wasn't as strong as they should be.
Right.
So I started talking to some singers that I respected their vocal, ability, and
Mhm.
started mimicking them. And then I actually got a couple of them to start gigging with me, so it'll kind of so it can be a better thing when not just hearing me. And
Wow.
then once I started figuring out where I stand, where my vocal range was, and what I can
Right.
do, what I can't do, then
Yep.
that's where my confidence came.
Oh, that's a blessing. That's wonderful. That is powerful. Just
Mm.
that really made the interview right there because that's powerful. You
Well,
know,
I
growth.
mean, you're not a quitter unless you quit. That's what I was
That's
taught.
right. Absolutely. Absolutely. And where are some of the who are some of the people you've worked with?
Ooh,
You know, yeah, some of
I,
the people you've worked with, the places you've been, where you've performed, things like that.
people I've worked with, Jay Chosen. I've done some stuff with all the Tonys at some point. All of them is pretty good friends of mine. Kevin Choice, me and Kevin Choice. Kevin
Mhm.
Choice was my first did my first beat for Stay. So I've done a lot of
I went to junior high with Kevin Westlake.
really.
Yes.
That's
And the
my boy.
Loonies. And the
Him and Tony
Loonies
Vick.
and the Who Riders.
Yes,
They
Tony
all
Vick.
Westlake.
I done worked with Tony Vick. Tony Vick was on a couple of my singles. That's a small world. Yeah, Kevin's a good guy. Kevin played with me at Q's Lounge. As soon as he got home from Xavier, true
Wow.
story. I was staying in this apartment and I had all my equipment in there. And Kevin and Tony was staying downstairs, but
Mhm.
playing music upstairs. I had it loud. First time I met him, he comes up the stairs, knocks on the door, and
Yeah.
dude with freckled face. I'm like, what's happening? I'm thinking he's gonna tell me to turn the music down. He goes, "You're playing the wrong note."
Wow. I
I
love
said,
it.
"What?" He said,
I
"Well," he said,
love
"You're
it.
playing the wrong note." So he came, man, built it. I've been a great friends with him ever since. So him, I've done a lot of work with him. Martin Luther, me and Martin Luther done a lot of work together.
Wow.
Vern Hall, Thomas Pritchard, Fresh Kim.
These are some of the most talented people in the Bay Area.
True, the Delinquents. I done stuff with them. They
Mm-hmm.
do songs. A lot of people in the Bay Area. I Stevie, Leela Shay.
Nice.
Leela Shay is a
Nice.
really good R&B artist that's about to drop her stuff pretty soon here. Larry White. Uh,
Wow.
I've been around a little bit. I've been around a little bit. Because my thing is, I don't have a problem listening and understanding what we need to do. And
Right.
as long as it gets done and the product comes out how I want it, then I'm with it. So I'm real easy to work with. Keisha Cole back in the day, long time ago, Keisha used to deal with Dwayne. I wrote some songs for her, but she ended up going a different direction. But
Got it.
a lot of people, a
Absolutely.
lot,
Awesome. Awesome.
truly
And
blessed. I'm truly blessed to meet those people.
it
So
just sounds like you've done some amazing things, and I know that God has some other stuff in store for you if you work on people like that. It's a bunch. Other stuff is going to be happening. You just never know what can happen next with your journey in your
I hope,
life. It's a
I hope so.
blessing.
Yes, thank God is good. God is definitely
Yes,
good.
yes, He is all the time. And then looking back in your past accomplishments and considering your upcoming projects, what
Mhm.
can your fans expect from you in the near future? Are there any collaborations, album releases, or
Well,
exciting performances that we should
well,
be keeping an eye out for?
well. What's going on now is we're gonna pump this single. Leela Shay is gonna drop some music probably the next month and a half. Uh,
Okay.
I just did a. I'm doing a song with Jay King. Jay King has a solo album coming out next year, so we got together and I did some music for him. So I got a slot on his stuff, so I'm excited about that.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
my publisher and stuff is getting some dates together for me now, so probably by I'll know something more by the end of the month where my dates will be. They're putting everything together now for like a little promo tour for me,
Oh,
and
wow.
then
Fantastic.
probably gonna end up hitting Yoshi's at some point. You know, I've done Yoshi's a couple times, but
Yeah.
I don't want to do it again until that the level of success is there, so I can really go in there and do it. And just producing, working with a lot of people, shopping music. I get calls all the time on people that need music, so you know, I have a certain style to how I do things. So I accommodate. I don't just do R&B. I do rap, R&B, rock, jazz.
Wow. Wow. So you're a versatile artist.
Yes, anything that can generate some money, I'm gonna go after. So
Okay. And that
it's
that that actually makes you even more marketable in the industry because you get some people that's just set on one style
mhm,
and then they'll never be able to expand. You'll never be able to expand their brand because they're not thinking out of the
very
scope of just having one style of music. So,
and music is going in a direction that's going to kind of work for me because I'm talking to a lot of execs and stuff like that and a lot of promoters and people want to hear from what I'm hearing. I'm just from what I'm hearing. People are starting to go back to the old Isley days and they want to hear real good music and real good vocals and real good lyrics and real catchy hooks. So that's what I did with this song here. When me and Jay wrote it, I said, make sure that the hook is catchy or I'm not going to be able to use it. And the hook is so catchy, it was easy for me to sing. So those are the things that I look for to
yeah,
make it work. And R&B is coming back real strong. A lot of my friends, Puffy and all them is putting records out, and R&B is it's gonna come back pretty strong, in my
right.
opinion.
And
It
it,
never
and
left,
it
but
needs to. It needs to. The music industry has changed so
yeah,
much.
yes, it has.
That
It,
real R&B, like with your music, the real R&B, we don't get a whole lot of that because it seems
right.
like it depends on where we're at in the music. So when we were in the 70s, we had real music, the 80s, the 90s,
Hmm.
2000s, the music still sounded good. And then as we started getting more into, where they had AI and um with what is that? Auto tune? Oh,
Hmm.
auto tune.
One of
But
my it's funny you say that. One of my engineers said to me, he was joking because he knew I wasn't gonna do it, but he goes, "We're sitting up here working on Jay King stuff," and he goes, man, why don't you just have AI write you a song? I was like, no, I'm not doing that. I can't do that. And I'll never say never, but you'd be surprised how many artists is using that tool right now.
Yeah, I can't think of the artist. His name, he's not coming to me right now, his name, but he is the artist who did auto tune for a very long time. Nobody even know he really had a voice. T Pain.
Oh, T Pain. Yeah, T Pain. Yeah, and yeah, T Pain can actually
That's
sing.
how he branded himself. But if you ever seen him perform live,
Yeah, he's a monster.
yeah, and
Yeah,
that's how he branded himself.
yeah. I'm a big fan of him, and I'm also a big fan of Mint Condition.
Nice.
Mint
Yes.
Condition
Yes.
and the Tonys. I know all of them. So I've been around them so long. But besides that, their music is so soulful. Ray and Dwayne and Tim, they get together, they cut up. And they're about to go on tour too to get him shut out. Shout out to the Tonys. They about to
Nice.
go on tour.
Nice.
But yeah, those are my go-to guys.
Okay, Rob, I have one question for you.
Shoot.
What is the importance in the music industry when it comes to like royalties and like, really knowing the music industry and publishing? Because you did say earlier in the interview that it's important to know business, but I
Yes.
know that expands into like royalties and, you know, don't sign on a dotted line before, you know what you're signing and things like that.
Well, this is the deal. Nowadays, there's certain things that you need to know in order to be successful and move forward. The first thing is get the music done. Okay. Once the music is done, you want to get it copywritten. Once you get it copywritten, you got to get your publisher paperwork together. So you want to go to either BMI, ASCAP, or CSAC, sign up with them. And then once you sign up with them, that's where your publication and your writers get paid. So if your stuff is getting played on the radio, even if your stuff is getting played in an elevator on the plane,
Mm-hmm.
anyway, if you do a concert at Yoshi's, if it's over two people in there, they're gonna pay you for 500 people getting in there. You got to thank Prince for that. Once
Okay.
once
Wow. Never knew that.
and you
Okay.
get and then being I'm with BMI, so I get paid every 4 months. I think ASCAP is every 2 months. Another
Right.
another thing you want to do is you want to make sure you sign up with a company called Sound Exchange. All these companies are free. You want to sign up with Sound Exchange. Now, what Sound Exchange does is it tracks all the money that you can get overseas. BMI is going to track everything from the states. They'll track some things overseas, but a
Okay.
lot a lot of our music is played overseas. And if you're not, well, at least a lot of mine is, if you're not with that company, it's going to be hard for you to collect your royalties. Um, Publishing and writers is what a lot of people got to understand going into the business, and it's how a lot of people get kind of caught up.
Right.
It's 100 and 100, so it's 200%. It's not 50% writers and 50% publishing equals 100. It doesn't work like that. It's a
Okay.
hundred. It's 100% writers and 100% publication.
Okay.
So what a lot of people end up doing is, say someone wrote a song for us. I
Mm-hmm.
did some song music for somebody. They'll
Right.
they'll try to just give me the writers, and I know that my music is on there. I'm gonna need some of that publishing too. So people got to really understand the ins and outs, and try your best to saturate yourself around somebody that kind of knows what they're doing, and pick their brain. That's what I did. Trademark
Okay.
yourself too. I picked Dwayne and Larry White's and Bobby Brown's. I picked all their brains to figure out where do I fit in, and
Smart strategy. That's
yeah,
so smart.
just pick their brains. Do not be afraid to ask questions. Most of my peers know if they need some information, they're gonna call me. They know I'll give them the information.
Mhm.
This is the main thing that people need to understand.
Yes.
Streaming is crazy right now. So the way to win in streaming is you have to be consistent. Put something out every other month if you can. Constantly put something out just so you can have something streaming. Now that money's okay, but the real money is in the publication. See, I have a publishing deal with Universal, so there's certain songs that Universal will take and put them to the side, and if someone picks it up like McDonald's or things of that nature, I get paid on it. So
Oh,
that's really where the money is. It's in publication and trying to get picked up with some of these movies and some of these television shows, commercials. Um, even if
Awesome
you're on,
stuff.
you know how you get on a plane and they
Yeah.
have get your headsets and it's a radio there. You get the
Hmm.
radio station, things like that. Publication. You could be in an elevator.
Wow.
We got to deal with a couple of elevators. So
Wow.
my music, you'll get an elevator in Macy's, and you might hear it going up the elevator. It won't even trip as me, but that still gets registered through BMI. So it's all kind of little ways to make them, to really generate revenue,
Hmm.
but you really have to know how to do it. And then once the shows start coming in, once you start picking up some popularity, and the promoters will start calling you because, hey, we see what you're doing. We think you can put some butts in the seats. Come on, let's
Right.
go. So
That's right.
that's the process. And if you
That's
stick by
right.
that process and don't quit,
Yeah.
at some point you're going to elevate.
This is powerful stuff, Rob. Powerful
It has
stuff.
to go. In other words, it has to go somewhere. If
Right.
if you're really motivated, even if you're not where you think you need to be as an artist or a producer or a writer, that don't mean quit. That means find somebody that you like, and if you got to copy them for a little bit to get your own style, at least you'll know where you need to go and where you fit in, and then just start pushing that market.
Oh, that's awesome. Great information, and I know the viewers are going to love that information and do something with it.
Yeah.
Because it's important to know your stuff. Really
Yes.
important.
Yes. Absolutely. Oh, and a split sheet. If you do stuff with other artists, make sure you have a split sheet. So, because what the split sheet does is
Mhm.
it says who's owed what, right? And then you take that split sheet, and like if it's one of my songs, I'll give you an example. Me and Jay Chosen did this song together. We did a split sheet. I take that information on the split sheet,
Okay.
register it, register it with BMI.
Okay.
That way we both get paid. The reason for the split sheet is to protect Jay.
Okay.
So if I don't register it and don't put his name on there, and I'm getting checked and he's not, he can come to me with the split sheet that we both
He
signed.
gets
Hey,
paid. Yeah.
Timeline 360 owes me this.
Wow.
So, and then he can, and that's a lot. You can take me to court on that. So I tell everybody when you do songs with other people to do a split sheet. That's gonna protect you on whoever registers the song.
Oh, that's awesome. Great stuff. Great stuff. Now, when it comes to the community,
Hmm.
um, are you doing anything with the community? Do you take part in, like, what are some of the things you're doing within the community?
I'm gonna do a backpack drive in
Oh, wow.
in the next couple of maybe next month. We just bought a house out here in well, we got a house out here in Stockton because we wanted a bigger place so I can have a bigger spot for the studio, and I got two kids and a wife. So
Oh, that's
my
beautiful.
my daughter is cheerleading, so she's a cheerleader at these football games. So that takes up
Mhm.
every Saturday and Sunday, and then my son's gonna start playing basketball probably next year, and then we're gonna get a bunch of drives together. We're probably gonna put on a couple of free concerts in Oakland for the homeless.
Oh,
Um,
that is awesome. Yeah, that is
do something
awesome.
on the market, put a stage up like at First Fridays. I've been talking to the people at First Fridays, and I'm like, hey, I'll do it. I'll do it for free, but well, I won't do it for free. The money that you will pay me, let's give that to some of the homeless that's down here because it's
Right.
so, and have some kind of programs for that. So I'm working with that, and I'm also working on some software where these kids can use the software, right? And it's like a one-stop shop. They can do their music on there. They can, and I'm gonna give it's gonna be a software where it's gonna be completely free. The only thing that you have to
Oh,
do
wow.
in
Yeah.
school. If you're in school, you can use the software. If you're not in school, it's kind of pretty much for the kids. So the motivation of it is if you want to use the software, you got to be in school.
Oh, that is amazing. That's wonderful.
So you
You
got to
know,
go to school every day anyway. Now to keep them in school, I'll give you the program information. When you get out of
right,
school, you can make beats, videos. You can do all your songs. You can do your artwork. You can do your paperwork all on one program. It's being built as we
right.
speak.
And then, going back to the whole school things, I'm just going to go off subject a little bit with the school thing. Nowadays, I think that's a great concept that you have as far as having that software there for
Hmm.
the kids. Do
Yes.
you know nowadays they're saying that kids don't even can't even read third grade reading level? I just want to kind of
Yes.
talk about it's
Yes.
crazy.
Yes. I'm definitely up on that because it's kind of ironic. We had to make sure, you know, the deal is with that. It's just the kids. I'm not trying to blame nobody, but you kind of got to sit there and read with them. You know what I mean? My wife reads with my daughter,
That's right.
and then Tristan is 5 years old. And that boy 6 years old. I'm sorry, and
Hmm.
he can read already. But the thing is, he watches Shalila and Sydney, and he wants to read, so he sits there and reads. So
Oh,
it's more
that's
about putting them in the environment to say, hey, this is how we did it with Sydney. You're gonna have to know how to read in order to get out of school.
mm-hmm.
So that's what ended up happening, and she got really better. Now she can read very well. So it's just about working with the kids. Sometimes tell them to put the game down. You got to literally, I can't. My wife is the one that really does it, so I can't take all the credit for that. But I
Right.
I
Right.
have seen her do that. Like, hey, cut the games off, sit down. Let's
Absolutely. You got to give wifey props.
Ye-
Absolutely.
yes. She Lila Shades. That's I would definitely give her props on that because she wasn't having it, and she was like, no, we gonna sit down once every day for about an hour, and we gonna read, and that's what they do. And sometimes I try to get in, and they kick me out. Like, get out of here. Like, all right, cool. As long as y'all doing it, I ain't tripping. So that's really what it is. It's just motivation. Sometimes you got to motivate the kids.
That's right.
Tell them you're
That's right.
gonna do something for them. We'll go here if you do this. Ain't nothing wrong with that, in my opinion.
That's right.
I'll
Absolutely.
take you to Disneyland if you get 5 A's.
That's right.
Nothing wrong with that, in my opinion.
Absolutely. No, because
Motivation.
that's something that would inspire them to do that because you're giving them an incentive.
Yes.
Yeah, you're giving them an incentive. To do something that they want to do. You say, okay, well, if you do this, I'll do this. Oh, Disneyland. They hear Disneyland.
They ready.
They might read the whole book.
Right? In a day. And I don't need to get on screen no more. I don't need the games no more. I want to read because I want to go to Disneyland.
That's right.
That's
So I
funny.
just want to say this has been an amazing interviewing Rob Bess, musician, artist, entrepreneur. I'm calling you entrepreneur because you're definitely a businessman, and I
Thank
love your strategy. I think your music is going to go real far. You have other artists that you're promoting or anything like that.
you. Hmm.
With your guidance, they're going to go wherever they need to go. I would really want to thank you, Rob, for joining us. Now I want to introduce your single, You Know. So
That's
we're going to
it.
play some clips of that. Definitely want to thank you for joining us on I See Myself, where we celebrate Black excellence.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. Peace.
Oh, you're welcome.
What's up, fam? I'm sitting here listening to our Bay Area own Rob Bess new single, You Know. Y'all better get it. It's in the store right now. This weekend, we're going to have a Rob Bess weekend. We're going to be playing some of his old singles and some of his interviews he's done in the Bay Area. Rob is our very own R&B master when it comes to the vocals in the band. We're looking forward to going to a number of events by Rob. Rob, thank you for the interview tonight with the Black Legacy Wealth Project, Black Excellence. I See Myself. You did a great job, brother. We dedicate this weekend to you, Rob, for all the work you've done in the community. We hope you continue to be an inspiration to other up-and-coming Bay Area artists. This is for you, my brother.
You the one for me. And I told you you were mine when I seen you that first time in Connecticut. It was played so hard to good, so I had to make sure it was all good.